Welcome to the Lead Pedal Podcast with your host, Bruce Outridge, where he talks all things trucking. Now let's get rolling.
Oh, hey, what do you do when you've been on the road for decades? You've driven every piece of truck that's around, and you've had a podcast, you've had a long career. What do you do next? Well, my friends, if you're Gord Magill, you write a book. And here's the book that we got. This one's called End of the Road, Inside the War on Truckers, Gord Magill. Gord, if you've never heard Gord, listen to his podcast, Voice of Gord. He is very opinionated on stuff. I'm just going to leave that stuff there. Anyway, Gord's been on our show a number of times. He's been, he's driven on the ice roads. He's gone to Australia and run road trains. He's living in the U.S. He's been a veteran trucker down there. He's from Canada. He's been a veteran trucker up here. He comes from a line of family that's from trucking. So, you know, he knows a thing or two about the industry. He's very much of a writer. He's very much of a podcaster, and now he is a published author with his first book. And I got to say, my friends, as someone who's written 6 books, and this looks like I just got it, so I haven't dived into it yet. But I am extremely, extremely excited to get into this one. I think this is what's needed, and we'll see. I'll have to do a review once I've read it, because I haven't read it yet. But we are going to talk to Gord today about it and find out exactly what's going on with it, why he decided to write it, because a lot of truckers are just deciding, hey, you know what? I'm just hanging up the keys. I'm going to go to Florida and put my feet up. Not Gord. He has a thing or two to say about this industry, and he's not shy about being vocal about it. So we're going to find out all about his book. This guy is a veteran truck driver. He's been on a show a number of times, so hopefully you enjoyed that. Hopefully, if you missed part 1, where we talked to Gord about the state of the industry in general, then go back and listen to that. This is part 2, where we're going to talk about his book. And before we get into that, though, I got to tell you a little bit about Bison Transport. They've got some sign-on bonuses. That's right, they got some sign-on bonuses going on till the end of March. So if you're listening to this the week of, you better get over there. But I can tell you one thing. I've been dealing with Bison for a long time. They've won safety awards year after year. And right now they're looking for cross-border drivers. If you're an employee-style driver, not Driver Inc., cross-border style driver, they've got a $750 sign-on bonus until the end of March. So you've got like 24 hours to get into this. Or so. And then if you're an owner-operator single, they're really looking for owner-operators. If you're an owner-operator single, they're looking at $1,500 sign-on bonus till the end of March. If you're a team owner-operators, they're looking at $3,000 sign. Now, the sign-on bonuses are just to get you to look at Bison. It's not really, it's not really going to keep anybody there. So what makes someone stay? Well, I think if you're an owner-operator in today's climate, you have to really think about how you're operating, why you're operating it, and where you're operating. And this is the cool thing about them, is that they allow you to kind of choose your lanes, or you kind of pick what's available, but they have maintenance. You can save on maintenance. You can save on parts. They have a great fuel program that owner-operators are allowed to get into. They have a successful team to support you. So why struggle? Trucking's hard enough, especially in today's world. Why not get on with a company that will treat you right, support you, and they pay on time, every time? Right there is enough reasoning. If you've not heard the news about people not getting paid, that should be enough to go over. Anyway, enough about Bison. Let's get into this interview with Gord Magill. Again, it's part 2, so we're starting kind of in the middle of where we left off last time. But I can tell you, you certainly want to get into this. And make sure you check out his podcast where he interviewed me on the Voice of Gord. So you're going to like that. All right, my friends, let's get into this. Come on, we can do this. Here we go.
Be sure to share the podcast on your favorite social media channels.
I don't even know how we're going to do that. Let's talk about your book. You titled the book. You titled a book called "The End of the Road." Is it? I almost feel like we're at the end of the road. Is it based on where we're going here, or what? Tell us about your book.
I've been writing about trucking. I've had this sort of, something of an interesting career. Northwest Territories, Australia, New Zealand. I've had a pretty cool career, and like yourself, I decided to start writing about the industry and podcasting, and hey, we have these problems, let's try and figure it out. Yeah. And a new publishing company that only just started here recently was looking around for authors, because the sort of mantra of this company is like, we want to publish people who are saying things that are like really intelligent and interesting, but they're not credentialed. They're not part of the university press system.
Right.
They're not big name authors, so the mainstream press isn't going to pick them up and offer them a book deal. So we want to find people writing in various areas of American life that might not get a chance to write, so these guys find my Substack. They're like, hey, you got some interesting stuff here. If you were to write a book about trucking, what would it look like? Give us a proposal. So I gave them a proposal. They accepted it. They said, please write this book. They gave me a tiny little advance. And while we were thinking about the title, End of the Road just kind of jumped out, because the trucking industry and truck drivers, I mean, the book is basically asking a question about the fate of the North American trucker in 2026. And it sort of looks at all of the changes that have happened since the deregulatory measures of the Motor Carrier Act of 1980. Similar legislation follows in Canada a few years later. Market opens up, all these different crazy things start happening, and we've been dealing with it ever since. But like a lot of guys like to blame it purely on deregulation, but it's not that simple. Deregulation started a bunch of stuff happening, and then other things have happened, and then it gets compounded. And then this problem leads to that regulation or that policy, and that makes it worse. And then there's another problem, and it just kind of, it's snowballed. Yep. And so my book is a look at how all of that sort of happened. And it's also a little bit of a memoir, because like I would bore you to death if all I talked about was like, trucking nerdery. I mean, you and I would read it and be happy, but nobody else would. So I had to figure out a way to like, make it interesting to a person reading the book who doesn't know anything about trucking. Right. So every chapter starts with an anecdote or a story from my own career. And then I'll get into an issue in the business and then go from that story to the issue. And then I'll discuss the history of the issue, where it intersects with political change, bad economics, whatever we're seeing out there. And so I've got 13 chapters plus an intro and a conclusion.
How big is this book? It's got to be about 2,000 pages, right?
No. Oh, man. No, it's funny you mentioned that. So the main part of the book of the writing is 250, and then there's like another 50 pages of notations and citations and links and resources.
Oh, okay. I can handle that.
Yeah. Well, what's funny is my editor ended up cutting out about 60 or 70 pages worth. It was going to be over 300. Okay. And my publisher said that, like, look, dude, like, you could write an encyclopedia about this, but we're not publishing encyclopedias. Yeah. People are going to want to read it. And if it's like this big, 400, 500 pages, no one's going to read it. And I guess there's some book sales metrics that show that, like, once a book exceeds 300 pages, the sales start to go down. Like, somebody will order a book online and they'll like read the reviews and they'll check it out. And then they'll say, oh, it's over 300 pages. So I can't read all that. And they just won't buy it. Yep. Apparently, I am told this by my publisher. I don't know. I've never read the book before. So
I can verify that is true, and the reason I can say that very much because I am a voracious reader. I love to read. I have my own. I call it my own university. I document it every month. I'm reading a book, but I'm a slow reader. I read every word, which is apparently not the way you're supposed to read books. And so if a book is more than 300 pages, I'm going, oh man, I can't finish that in a month. That's going to take me. I love short chapters because I feel like I'm really moving along because I can read a chapter and put it away for the day and then move on. So I'm one of these people, if I see things 400 or 500 pages, I usually don't start. It's like a series on Netflix. If I see there's a series, I go, I'm not going to make it past episode 2. So there's no sense starting. I prefer a movie that I know I can get done in 2 hours and move on. So there is some truth to that. So I think so. Is it the trucking books that I've read in the past from people have a lot of the lingo from the industry. And so someone who's in trucking gets it, but somebody who's not in trucking, is yours like that? Or have you kind of tried to keep some of that stuff out of there as you're writing?
Well, I mean, there's a little bit of it, but I don't beat people over the head with it. And I don't I don't use the sort of stereotypical CB lingo phrases throughout the book. It's like I say, it's sort of a cross between a memoir, a PhD thesis and just like an investigative research book. Like it's a bunch of different things. I don't know if I'm going to accomplish what I set out to do by having it be all those things at once. But again, I've never written a book before. So we'll see. But like, yeah, I don't, I don't talk and trucker talk throughout the book very much.
Right. How long did it take you to write it? I've written 6 books, so I know that writing a book is not easy. How long did it take? Because I think you've been writing this for at least a couple years. If my memory's probably not correct, but seems like it's been a while. I've been hearing you talk about it at least.
Yeah, I was approached in November 2024, so basically 15, 16 months ago. I started writing it in earnest in January of last year, and the final manuscript was done basically at the end of October, beginning of November. So there was a whole process, right? Like I would write a chapter, send it to my editor, we would go back and forth, and I would keep writing. I would have like segments. I had like 8 chapters on the go in different windows in my computer. And I'm reading all these other books, and I'm like trying to like, get into the fine-grained details of like other people's writings that I've read before. Like I cite a lot of other authors and researchers, and I might have read their book 5 years ago. So I had to like go back and find stuff. And I spent a lot of time at Cornell because I'm only 8 miles from Cornell University, and all their libraries are open to the public. So I was hanging out there with my laptop, just like banging away at it. But basically just under a year. Some of the stuff that's in it that I inserted in various chapters was already written. Like I've taken it out of my Substack, out of articles I've written before, and then like made it fit into the sort of larger thing I'm saying in each chapter. So I mean, some of it was kind of pre-written, I suppose.
Yeah, very cool. Very cool. Where can people? We're gonna be able to get it. Is it out now? We're doing this. It's February, the end of February, 2026. When's it coming out, or is it out already?
So it officially releases next month, March 24th. So we're like, 3.5 weeks away. You can pre-order it basically anywhere, Amazon. If you're listening in the United States, I would recommend you go directly to my publisher, because that way we make more money. creedandculture.com. If you're in Canada, you can order it through Chapters Indigo, indigo.ca, and then just punch in End of the Road. It's there. People are already pre-ordering it. I found out from my publisher early this week that it's already got 1,000 pre-sales, which is, I think, it's pretty good.
Good for you, man. Congratulations. So, it's a hard job, and it's good that, great that you got a publisher that takes it on, because a lot of times we self-publish these things, and, congratulations. I mean, it's another feather in the cap. Like, look what you're doing, Gord. You've done it all, man, from trucking all around the world to writing about it. I think that's great. Congratulations. It's awesome. It's awesome.
I appreciate that, sir, because I'm full of self-doubt and my own, low self-esteem sometimes, and I don't actually think I know what I'm doing. But I guess I've done some interesting stuff, so why not write about it? I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be good. I'm looking forward to reading it. I will be getting a copy for sure once it comes out. All right, what a great interview with Gord. Hopefully you got a lot out of that. Hey, before we go too much further, though, let me tell you a little bit about DriverCheck. DriverCheck is our sponsor of the month. That's right. They work with drug and alcohol testing, workplace safety, cannabis in the workplace, all of that kind of stuff. But they've been around. They're celebrating their 30-year anniversary being in the drug and alcohol testing business. They have doctors on staff, all of that kind of stuff, terminals all across North America. And they've been a great supporter of our show. Been working with them for over 8 years now. They've got a Fitness for Duty Summit, which happens in October every year. You do not want to miss that. And I can tell you, it's a great way to be part of that whole thing. So check out DriverCheck at drivercheck.ca. They got resources for you if you just need some help with workplace safety. If you're a driver or owner-operator, you don't understand drug and alcohol testing, they got stuff to help you there. And their Fitness for Duty answers all those questions. And it's virtual this year, so you want to check that out. All right. Thanks to Gord. Hey, go check out Gord's book, End of the Road. You can get it off his website and stuff. Check out his podcast, The Voice of Gord. I will put links in the show notes where you can get the book and all that kind of stuff. So thanks for being on the show, Gord. Always fun to talk with you. I look forward to seeing where this goes, because I think it's going to be a great book for sure. I look forward to reading it, and I will let you guys know what I think at the end of the end of the session. I'm a slow reader, so don't think it's going to come out next week or anything like that. Anyway, congratulations to Gord. I know how hard it is to write a book, and I know he's been working on this for a long time, so congratulations on that for sure. Hey, before we go, let me tell you about Compliance Mentors. You're looking for a place that can get you on board, get your company kind of set up. Compliance Mentors can do all kinds of audits to let you know where you are, what, how your company is going, where you need to work on. Today's world, man, everybody's cracking down. It's time to make sure you get on the page and be part of the solution for the industry and not part of the problem. So check out compliancementors.com, mentors with a Z.com, and you can find out all that you have to do. All right, we'll talk to you later, my friends. Be good out there. Bye for now. If you're going down to the truck show, Matt's this weekend, enjoy yourself. Make sure you say hi to Gord. I think he's going to be roaming around. Get one of his books. All right, my friends, talk to you later. Bye for now.
This has been another episode of the Lead Pedal Podcast. For more information or to subscribe to the podcast, visit theleadpedalpodcast.com and be sure to follow the podcast on Facebook and Twitter.